Getting live. Getting live tonight. Getting live. Getting live. Getting live tonight. Getting live. get loud. Get loud.
Stop fucking up!
Hello, please, and welcome back to Krown's magical prediction cave. Silence.
Ridiculousness is going on right now. What the fuck is this? Has Bear Jesus come back? Has Bear Jesus risen his hands once again? Is Bear Jesus in full control of this market? And we haven't even been fucking close to coming to bottoming. Is Bear Jesus ramming red dildos down all of our goddamn throats? No, it's Elon. No, it's Michael Saylor. No, it's Mark Cuban. No, it's Bear Jesus, baby, and he's back. Woo! Yeah, Bear Jesus. Give it up for Bear Jesus. He loves you. Bull Jesus hates you. Bull Jesus hopes you die. Bull Jesus has forsaken you. Bull Jesus, no more green dildos, only red dildos for the rest, probably, of the day. Actually, we're getting ready for a bounce. Anyways, with that said, I'd like to wish everyone welcome back to the Krown's Crypto Cave. That's good old Lex in the background there. Lex, would you mind shutting the fuck up, please? Thank you very much, and let's get into it right now. Okay, all right. Apologies for that, but hey, we have to wake everyone up because who is sleeping at the ripe old hour of 7 a.m.? Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. We need to be up at 5 a.m. There's plenty going on right now. Bitcoin coming back down, looking like it wants to take that first dippy dip below 40,000 bucks. And hey, what's up, Lucas? How are these intros you do free? They're actually not free. I actually paid a lot of money for that intro that you saw right there. But well worth it, man. Well worth it. And with that said, let's get into the Krown chain application over here. I need to calm myself down. Apologies. Have to get it all out at the beginning of this stream here because you only get so many times, man. You only get so many times to go a little bit crazy. And you know what? Right now is one of those times. And we really haven't had too many of them for the last like 6-7 months. So with that in mind, into the Krown chain application we go. We got plenty to discuss over here. And first and foremost, we see Bitcoin dominance coming below that 40% for the first time in actually years here, which that is going to, I imagine, going to be right in that macro region. So I would be looking for big bad bounces on the on the Bitcoin dominance. That does mean that, or that does imply that as Bitcoin does come down and break the trend here, or a continuation with the trend, then altcoins probably gonna be losing versus their Bitcoin Satoshi pairing. So with that in mind, I meant your hype, bro. Oh, right on, my friend. Well, we'll have to discuss that later. Anyways, open interest also coming down significantly as well. So people are still taking longs off is what this would suggest. As price action comes down and open interest also comes down as well, it is actually still not indicative of major short positions opening. It's actually long positions closing right now on the whole. Of course, you know, there is traders on the other side as well, but on the whole, that's what it would suggest. And remember, it was the break below the 9 billion open interest region that we saw about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago now. That was really the first sort of major indication that, hey, something new is going on. And if something new is going on within the context of a macro bullish market, well, it means not up only right now, unfortunately. Anyways, with that in mind, we actually do see some coins having a decent day. In fact, Phantom, Sushi Swap, Anchor, Solana, Harmony, all in the green right there. Even Polygon 2, UMA, and Helium posting some decent gains, actually, everything considered. Oh, and also synthetics as well. But other than that, it's mostly stable coins. And if it's mostly stable coins, you know that it's 0.00. On top of that, on the top 10 worst coins, I mean, we've got Venus down 35.5%. Jesus Christ, man. The bakery tokens, the food tokens are down, baby. Pancake Swap also down. Nanos. Oh, Nicholas Martins, what are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? Horizon, IOS, Nexo. Cello and Bitcoin Diamond all getting slapped in the face, it looks like. And I want to bring this up over here before we... Or do I want to go to the market data tab first? Yeah, let's go and do it right now. Let's see if there's anything that's kind of indicative of a little bit of a short-term bottom going on in Bitcoin soonish. And what do we see over here? We do see open interest continues to crater below levels that we really haven't seen in months now. And on top of that, we even see the funding rate going up right now. Now, it's not anything too crazy right there, but it is more or less indicative that I don't believe that we're done just yet. At least I am looking for a little bit of a short-term bounce relatively soon, probably somewhere right around 39,000 bucks, maybe slightly above 39,000 bucks. But overall, I do not believe that the downside is over just yet. However, there are actually a couple of very interesting signals that are going to be printing relatively soon, I do believe. And I do think that that is going to be very much something that I'd want to be cognizant of right now. So I want to offer a little bit of hope on the other side. And at the end of the day, remember, this community, this channel is for traders first and foremost. That is, who we cater to. And I know, of course, we welcome people of all shapes, sizes, creeds, and trading styles in here, of course. But with that in mind, understand that, that is our disposition, of course. Anyways, I see Seth Stithwell says, United States thanks you for the earlier feed. Fuck Bear Jesus, by the way. Bear Jesus loves you, sir. He loves you. He loves you. He loves you. Why do you forsake him? This is why he gives you red dildos in the morning. No, of course, man. All jokes aside, the market ebbs and flows, of course, and as we've been pretty much only flowing for the last I don't know, 6-7 months now, it's time to do a bit of ebbing, and I imagine that that is going to be, and I imagine that this is going to be done for a little bit of time here. Anyways, what's up, Benji? Thoughts on Wyckoff distribution? Yep, we covered that last week, and it is very much in order right now. But with Wyckoff distribution getting that first markdown, what happens after the markdown? Well, you get your throwback, and we still haven't even gotten a throwback yet. I was actually looking for a little bit of a throwback yesterday. Bitcoin could barely even get to fucking 45,000 bucks before putting another lower high on the 4-hour time frame. Anyways, I want to bring something up really important over here. That is this Twitter post. So this was posted on May 15th. That was about 4 days ago. About Tether. Now, a lot of people have, kind of pinned this whole downside move on Elon Musk and into the Binance situation, all that bullshit, and China banning Bitcoin for like the 10th time in 5 years, basically. I think that's very silly. I think that's just very silly. This is very tangible and hard sort of issues that is within the ecosystem. Once again, Tether is on the dial here, as it's been revealed that they are operating a fractional reserve. I mean, you can see it for yourself. Check out this Caitlin Long. Yes, I'm not a big fan of the laser eye. It's Mimi, but whatever, man. At the end of the day, everyone's kind of free to do what they want to do, right? Anyways, with that said, and did I just get hit on a trade over here? No, I did not. Damn it. Close. So close. Oh my lord, man. Oh my lord. I've been waiting so patiently. Anyways, yes, so basically what was revealed, I think about a week ago during a major audit, was actually Tether is operating a fractional reserve, and I imagine that the market's having a bit of a reaction or a bit of response to that, because Tether is kind of the backbone of a lot of this whole infrastructure. Now, over time, do I think Tether getting regulated or Tether, coming into some things resembling normality would be good for the market? Yes, absolutely. It'd be a very, very good long-term thing. But short-term, does it cause a little bit of displeasures for the bulas out there? Yes, absolutely. So with that in mind, I do still think that this is I think that this is actually a really big deal, in fact. And let me just make sure that everything's going well over here. Okay, it seems that it is. And let's get into the charts now. And by the way, you can check this out. Caitlin Long, it's a very, very long thread. It goes, Jesus Christ, man, she must have done 20 or some, well, maybe not 20 posts, but maybe 20 posts. Yeah, more than 20 posts. Holy shit. It goes all the way down to, Jesus fucking Christ, man. This lady is running up a storm. 36 posts right there. Powerful stuff. And with that in mind, let's go into the actual price action charts. I'll let you check that on your own, but basically the gist of it, the TLDR, if you will, is essentially, hey, what we're looking at right now is kind of an issue, to be fair. So I do think that matters. And what I want to bring up right now is something that, Jesus fucking Christ, man, am I going to get hit on this trade or what? God damn, Bitcoin, you bastard, just making everyone wait right now. I'm looking to close a bit of a short here. Anyways, okay, so yes, what I want to bring up right now is actually a follow through on the hash ribbon signal that we saw yesterday. It is actually confirmed right here. However, we do not have the buy signal just yet. So I would say that this next drop on Bitcoin likely is going to be, at the very least, a strong bounce, potentially the next major low. But how hard can Bitcoin how hard can Bitcoin drop before, before putting that in, right? Well, I would say, oh my God, and I just, okay, actually, no, I'm nowhere near my position. Jesus Christ. Anyways, my point is that we have not gotten the buy signal just yet. And so if you are looking at this as a bit of a timing signature, as we have denoted, for the, I don't know, for like the last 2-3 weeks now, it's still not there. It is still implying a little bit of time to wait. And I still do think that Bitcoin is doing something relatively similar to about 2017 in the sense that, this is going to take some time. Long term, I am still bullish on Bitcoin. Actually, I'm still macro bullish on Bitcoin. I don't think that the run is done long term, but this can take some time. And I would imagine maybe around like end of summer, we probably see a little bit of movement once again. But for right now, it's time to be on the caution if you are mostly a spot long trader. And Bitcoin now officially below $40,000, and there it is, baby. Bear Jesus really in full control right now. So where would I be looking for right now? Actually, would be looking for a bounce off of about low $39,000. What is that based off of? Based off the 200 simple moving average right on over here, and also our last major consolidation structure coming in from this area in late, more like mid to late June, in fact. And what we could do is we could just mark it off like this. I don't know if I actually have it already in there. Let me just use a horizontal array in this case. Actually kind of like this, keeps it a little bit more orderly within this region. I'd be looking for any sort of short-term bottoming action within this region right here. We also see the 200 simple moving average right smack dab in the middle of these two regions, and that is essentially about $1,000 area between about $39,000 and $40,000. So I would be looking for short-term bounces around here, kind of similar to yesterday. But remember, yesterday that bounce got faded really quickly. I was even looking for yesterday's bounce to get up, another I was actually looking for it to get up another couple $1,000 there, but hey, fair enough. At the end of the day, follow the trend, let it be your friend. And in this case right here, I do think that we got a little bit more short-term downside to go. All momentum oscillators are bearish right now. We do see, even on the lower term timeframes, 4-hour RSI giving hidden bearish divergence on yesterday's high once again. And while we are coming back down around here, and we actually do have a little bit of a short-term trend line coming in from this area right here, I would be looking for this to, again, come a little bit lower first, wash a few more people out, and then perhaps a bit of a bouncy bounce, maybe into like the, into like the $42,000 region. I don't have a strong proclivity on that. Still, at the end of the day, I actually do think that Bitcoin will go lower from this region. And I do believe that Bitcoin, again, will ultimately be one major opportunity, but it is very difficult to ignore the signals going on right here. As we see 4-hour TSI turning down once again. Yes, this is incredibly aggressive right here. Yes, you should more or less be looking for this as, likely to produce a bounce relatively soon. But at least for the short term, at least for the interim, as Bitcoin comes down to that $39,000 target, it is going to imply that we probably do get somewhere around there. Now, remember the thing that we spoke about yesterday, the big one, and actually for the last week or so, which would be the BBWP on the daily right here. The daily BBWP is now officially right around 97.62 percentile. I really want it. I really want to see it get around 100 percentile before looking for any sort of like a major potential bounce on the daily specifically. And remember, if you are looking at this as a Wyckoff distribution top, which I strongly believe it is, then what you're going to be looking for first and foremost is the throwback, and the throwback typically does get, well, thrown in your fucking face. But could it turn into a low? Yes, it could. What would be the conditions for looking for like a major low right here? Well, the problem with the daily is right now is that the daily downtrend remains as long as we are creating lower lows and lower highs. Where's our last lower high? Is it this area right here? I would argue no, this is not a lower high right here. This is a continuation drive, if anything. Our last lower high is still actually in the deep $50,000 region, to be exact, about $58,000, $59,000. I know that some people might disagree with that, so we can go down to a lower term time frame to kind of double up on that. If we go down to a 12-hour, yes, I would say it's about 50,500-ish region right here. That is a clear, stop and reverse point in the way that you want to see it when you are looking for a trending move. So I would give a little bit of a nod to that region as well. So essentially, as long as Bitcoin's below about $50,000, I don't see any real reason to be, discussing this as one major reversal just yet. Of course, that is a $10,000 range, and that would require a shit ton of patience right here. But at the end of the day, I mean, that is what it is to be a trader in my experience. I mean, we had a great discussion about this the other day in this community, in the sense that, hey, what's kind of different about being a trader is that a lot of the time you just have to know when not to make a trade. I mean, that's almost, or it's not almost as, I think it's even more important than knowing when to take a trade, because a lot of the time it's capital preservation and capital, capital preservation that actually keeps you safe in the long run. And those sort of unnecessary risks are, in my experience, very much a trader's worst friend, in fact. So in this case right here, I do think that Bitcoin still has a little more downside to go. Even if we go down to the 4-hour right here, we see that BBWP is still not even in the actually just got into the 90 percentile right now. So it's getting close. I do think that we're going to be looking at a relatively local low, relatively soon. Probably does happen today or tomorrow. But overall, as long as bounces, on 12-hour and daily are below $50,000, it's just another lower high. Now, if we go down to the that was a 12-hour. If we go down to the 4-hour, it's actually the same thing right here too. Basically just above 90 percentile as well. Anyways, if we go down to a 4-hour, where's your last lower high right here? That would be about 45,500-ish region on yesterday's last little try, and unfortunately that did result in hidden bearish divergence, as you can see right there. Inciting continuation to the downside. So overall, I do want to see that come a little bit lower. I want to see this start to print really red territory on the 4-hour, 12-hour, and daily would be perfect. And then I'd be looking for a greater bounce, probably into like the mid $40,000 region. And then the question is, does Bitcoin put another lower high or not? Remember, 4-hour, which I consider essentially a lower term time frame for Bitcoin, would be about 45,000, or actually it's just below $46,000. No, it's sorry. I would revise that. It's about 45,500-ish region. If you're looking at a 12-hour, it's about $50,000. If you're looking at a daily, you don't even want to fucking know. How about that? Even if we go down to an hourly, where's our last lower high right here? I mean, it would actually be the same thing, 45,500. This is just continuation all the way through thus far. So as far as that stands, I do play this one to the downside, and I do not look for a knife catch just yet. I really do not like these situations right here. To be like the heroic knife catcher. I don't think it's very wise. It typically does not work out in my experience. It's not that it doesn't work out. Like, actually, a lot of the time it does work out. The problem with it is that the one time that it doesn't work out, your account gets fucking wiped, and well, you can't be a trader anymore if you have no more equity. So as we kind of discussed before, it is capital preservation time right now if you are looking to get into those more long-term positions. Again, if Bitcoin does bottom somewhere within this region, it very likely takes some time. Remember, when we go back on over here to the hash ribbon signal, it does take about a month from capitulation signal to next buy signal on average, sometimes a little bit more, about a month and a half in some cases. And then after that, you get the buy signal, and then about an average of 1 to 2 weeks before getting that actual next try to the upside. So in this case right here, I still do think that we have some waiting to go. And as we did see about a month ago, in fact, on the 24th of April, we actually even got that solid green right here, which does precipitate the blue buy signal, obviously. But with that in mind, the problem with that is that it did eventually get reverted. So until you get that blue buy signal, it is risky, essentially, if you are a more long-term investor. So where do I think that a Bitcoin bottom could come in? Because I don't think that I do not think that it's going to come in around $39,000, except for maybe a short term, unless if those conditions are met that we overlaid earlier. I'd still be looking at the areas that we spoke about yesterday and the day prior, and that would be right around about $35,000. Mid to low $30,000 region, as we do see coming in from this area right here. I do want to pull up my, yes, this is what I was looking for. I do want to pull up my fib retracements right here. This is a bullish retracement, actually, in the 618 Fibonacci extension, Fibonacci retracement right here is right around $35,000. Why is this relevant? Why am I looking at the 618? Well, typically speaking, that is the golden pocket. You do see a lot of things just bounce there by the nature of it. Why is that? Well, it's no secret. A lot of bots and algorithms going to be buying there, just kind of blindly, more or less closing short positions is what they're doing. But on top of that, if we do go back in time, I strongly think that Bitcoin is doing something very, very similar to what we saw in 2013 as well. And we can see even from a major moving average perspective, it's very, very similar right here, as Bitcoin does base just a little bit below that 200 simple. And guess where? It's right at that 618, as you can see right here too. Let me just throw in a nice little horizontal right here. It's a little bit lower than that, but I'd essentially make this, a bit of a zone right there. I'd be looking for any sort of bottoming behavior within that region right there. If that comes alongside of another hash ribbon signal, or anything of the like, or especially if we did we get bullish divergence over here? No, we did not, in fact, but we did get the RSI all the way down to the low 20s. And you will notice that over time, and as we did discuss yesterday, in a traditionally bullish market for Bitcoin, these moves down to the very, very deep 20s are typically speaking, extremely strong bounce areas, and typically speaking, that next major low within the context of macro bullish markets. Within the context of a bear market, not necessarily the same thing, but again, we're not in a bear market right now. A bear market would be at the very least a weekly downtrend for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's actually still not in a weekly downtrend. Where would Bitcoin enter into a weekly downtrend? Well, that would bring into discussion, where is Bitcoin's last higher low? And where is Bitcoin's last higher low? it's all the way at low $30,000. So could Bitcoin try for a wick down to about $35,000, over the next week or two, and then bounce from there? Yeah, I'm essentially thinking something of the sorts right there. Anyways, it should also be denoted, should I even talk about this? I think I won't talk about that because that's going to be a little bit too doom and gloomy right there. So, I'll hold off on that one and we'll just get on over to what else, to the other things that I want to talk about. So again, short-term timeframes, I do think that we're kind of around a bounce area right here. We're pretty fucking close. So it looks like we got to about 39,400-ish right there. I think anywhere around there to about 39 even is about where you're looking for. The problem is with these extremely high volatility events, you don't really know where that liquidation wick is going to end. So in this case right here, I do think I do still think that we play a little bit of time right here, try another bounce, and then come back to it probably later tomorrow. What's up, Bitcoin Delphine? When hash ribbon signal, sir? My family, please. Yeah, like I said earlier, man, it is printing the green signal right here. But again, until we get the blue buy signal, it is risk. We saw something similar to that over here as well in April 24th, and that one quickly got reverted, as you can see. So this is looking better. This is more within the concept of what we've seen historically speaking, as this is about a month away. Again, this one happened on the 24th of April. Right now we are in the 19th of May, so about a month away. Very, very close right there. But again, until we get that blue buy signal, I think that it is still a bit risky in this region, at least historically speaking, because that can get reverted. And obviously, it still implies even more waiting time anyways, as we have gone through this many times. I'll go through two examples right here. I really don't want to bore the shit out of you with this because I know that most people have been on this channel for, the last month have been inundated with this ad fucking nauseum. So apologies for that. But as you can see over here, we get the capitulation signal. This is within the context of a bullish market, by the way. Again, a long-term uptrend, and we get the capitulation signal on the 28th of October. We get the official buy signal on the 2nd of December. So that's a little bit more than a month, about a month and a week or so. Am I doing my maths right there? I don't know, something like that. I can't count my months, okay? We have calendars. Anyways, we get the blue buy signal right here. And funnily enough, even after we get the blue buy signal, it does actually dump back down again. It does put in a higher low, obviously, on the daily, but it's really not until another couple weeks later on the 14th, 15th of December when Bitcoin actually gets going and trends once again to the upside. On top of that, we can go to this example over here, which is actually rather similar to what we're doing right now because, well, this one's taking a long fucking time. And that one happened on the 24th of May. We get the blue buy signal on the 12th of July. So that's about a month and a half. And then from the 11th to 12th of July to the actual next major breakout, that was about the 23rd of July. So a little bit more than a week, about 10 days or so. So overall, I do believe that Bitcoin, still has, still risky right here. I don't think that we're getting ready for a bounce just yet. And probably this next bounce is going to be hotly contended, I'll say. So, until Bitcoin even puts in an uptrend on a fucking 4 hour, there's no threat of Bitcoin, putting in a major reversal. So for the people who are looking for, that long-term buy signal, I mean, there's multiple ways to obviously play it, but in my experience, or at least in my opinion, I wouldn't necessarily like that right now. I wouldn't necessarily like that, to be fair. So to kind of summarize Bitcoin up, I do think that we're getting ready for a bounce here. I think it's rather likely to bounce from that low $39,000 region. But still, that bounce, as long as it's below $45,000, it's still just a lower high on the lower term timeframes. So keep that in mind, and I would in a more sincere tone really exercise caution within this region. Understand that if you are a trader, if you are an investor, these sort of situations right here, it's better to err on the side of caution because, hey, again, you can't stay in the game if you have no trading capital. There's no reason to front run a signal like this when, maybe you don't get the ultimate low, but really only one person gets the ultimate low as they're, the person who fucking creates the low, right? But more importantly, you don't need to get the ultimate low in order to make some actual money. In my experience, it's better to wait for, some more obvious bottom end signals. And in this case right here, and in a more pulled back tone again as well, I would say that there's a couple things that I'm looking for that have still yet to happen. I want to see that BBWP get it to at least 100 percentile, at least. It doesn't go higher than that, by the way. And I want to see, and I want to see a little more downside. I want to see something resembling an uptrend, at least on the lower fucking time frames. That would be great. Anyways, let's see. Vector De Vera says, is it coincidental that the exact 28 days between Bitcoin top and Ethereum top, and now yet again, are you talking about from 20? You forgot to copy and paste the other part of that tweet that you are referencing right now too. I believe you are referencing. Actually, I forget who you're referencing, but I did see that one on Twitter earlier. Do I think it's coincidence? The market rhymes obviously over time. There is that saying, the market doesn't. What is it? It's not the same, but it rhymes over time. Some to that effect. Yeah, I do think that it's not necessarily coincidence. No, I mean the market has has the market has, well, I don't know if I'd say that, but I was going to say something that I'd probably disagree with actually. So, I'll hold off on saying more than that. But to put it bluntly, yes, I do think that, or I do not think that is coincidence. I do think that this market essentially trades together, and you will notice these relationships naturally over time as well. I'm gonna take another sippy sip of this coffee, man. I got started late today, even though we started massively early, so my whole schedule's off. I need to go get an ID later today, so I can hopefully hopefully open up a goddamn bank account. Anyways, let me. Oh my god, man, I got so much of this black gold right here. Oh shit, it's raining outside too. God damn, man. Crazy day. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about before we get into some comments? I do want to look at Ethereum as well. Let's see what Ethereum's doing right now. I'm going to go to this chart right here. It has a little more history. And I think that Ethereum's getting ready for a bit of a bounce. It's very, very likely somewhere around the 55 on the daily right here. We do have a head and shoulders top on Ethereum as well. And I'm actually curious where that measure move would be overall, because that likely is going to be the ultimate target for something like this. And it would actually be much lower, in fact. So if Bitcoin does dump down to about 35,000 bucks, I'd be looking for Ethereum to come somewhere in the mid 2000s, somewhere between about 24 to 25,000 bucks. And that's very, very similar to Bitcoin and what Bitcoin was doing in, I think it was like mid to late January in this kind of accumulation region right here, this consolidation region. And those typically do perform as nice, nice obvious bases. So that would be like an obvious, at the very least, obvious bounce area after the 55 right here. And then come back to it after that and cross your fingers and pray to Bullah Jesus for it. Hey, what's up, Frylong? Pi cycle triggered April 12th. Why is that not top? I mean, it is a top. I mean, in hindsight, the Pi cycle got it completely right. Well, I mean, it technically got it a little bit, a few days off. But hey, fucking splitting hairs in that case. Yeah, in hindsight, the Pi cycle nailed it, man. Absolutely fucking nailed it. So I had to eat my words on that one because I was talking a little bit of shit on it. And overall, that is hubris biting me in the ass, man. At the end of the day, man, I make mistakes all the time. And that would be one of them. That would certainly be one of them right there. Anyways, let me just make sure that I haven't. Did I get filled on my exit right there? No, I have not. You bastard! Please help! Please help! All right. Well, I'm just trying to make sure that I actually get out of my position right here, as it would be quite nice to actually pull this one in. Anyways, doing a couple things at once right now. Let's go check out Caretaker's STC over here too. I just want to see if those targets are lined up with anything as well. On the daily right here, we do see actually a bit of a buy at around just below 35,000 bucks. There is another one lower than that. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm looking for that right now, but more long term, yes, I do think that Ethereum is probably not Ethereum, but Bitcoin probably does make its way somewhere down around there, but it likely takes time. Here, Bitcoin comes down to about 39,000 bucks. Let's see if we do get a bit of a bouncy bounce somewhere just a little bit lower. Come on, baby. Come to daddy. Daddy would like to close short positions, please. There we go. All right. I think I just got actually a good amount of that. Sweet. Let's try that. All right. And what else did I get over here? All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. Let me just make sure. Here we go. All right, sweet. I think I'm good to go right there. And we get back at it. Anyways, I also want to see what this is printing on Ethereum as well. We got 29.23 right there. And yeah, that is actually showing much lower. But that is also just looking at a bear zone consolidation. Jesus Christ, man, that is nasty. Let's see what the 12-hour says. 12-hour says 2,800. So I'd be looking for, tentatively speaking, a bounce somewhere around about 2,800 on Ethereum as well, in line with Bitcoin's, kind of around its current area. I mean, even 2,900 kind of looks okay-ish for me for a bounce. It's getting very close here. It's getting very, very close. But overall, I do not believe that the long-term downside is done just yet. We're seeing momentum also just turn down across the board. We see 4-hour Stokes once again get rejected off this trend line right here. So I would be looking at least for some short-term downside. Also very telling, as it does reject from getting outside of the bearish control zone as well. So bears, again, in full control. Bitcoin, I imagine it's the same thing as well. And let's go over here, and can we load it up? Bitcoin, please respond. There we go. All right, yeah, so Bitcoin coming down as well. Again, very, 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 very aggressive moves here. So it really wouldn't take too much to get an actual bounce, but until that starts to turn around, which, by the way, it would force a close above 42,000 bucks in order for that to happen. It is a bit risky. Jesus Christ, man, did everything just stop right now? What is going on there? What is going on, sir? What is going on, sirs and sirs? All right, let me just double check this here, make sure that we are freshly and safely out of positions. That would be good. All right, and let's okay, let's see. Let's try that right there. All right, I think I should be safe right now, and we are good to, actually we're good to go, but I just need one more. Need to get out the very last one. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Always a fun endeavor in the early morning hours. Let's try that right there, and that should be good enough. All right, sweet. Okay, I think I'm good to go now, and there it is. Bitcoin down around, actually just below 39,000 bucks now. Let's see what BitMEX got to as well. 38,850. So we are right fucking there, and yes, I would be looking hopefully for a little bit of bounce action from this region. Otherwise, then I probably shouldn't have taken profit too early on this one, but looks like we are getting about a 500 bounce thus far, but this is, you know, nothing for Bitcoin here. Oh, yep, just got filled on the other side. Excellent. Good job, sir. Good job indeed. And let's see. All right, sweet. Anyways, I think we can probably get under comments now. I do want to check out really quickly the Bitcoin dominance chart. I want to see if we hit that macro area, because again, that would be, oh yeah. All right. We certainly did. We took a little stabby into the bottom end of that. Now bouncing up, so I would be looking for a bounce off this. Now long term, it's still a downtrend, obviously. You know, anywhere below what's our last lower high on the weekly, that'd be all the way over here at about 63%. So that's not happening anytime soon. But so it very likely does create another lower high. But I'd actually be looking at this as a bit of a tentative signal as well for a bit of what's it called? For a bit of, you know, for that sort of next ebb and flow of the market. Essentially, when Bitcoin does, if and when Bitcoin does put in its next low, I'd imagine that this would, you know, put another lower high, and then we will see very likely the market continue, at least in my opinion. But that's likely going to take some time. I don't think that this is done anytime soon. You know, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, even if Bitcoin were to bottom out like right here, right now, I would be looking for something very specific, and that is on the BBWP. If I can go back to my regular charts right here, I want to see the BBWP come all the way back down at the very least below 50 percentile, but ultimately I want to see this come even below like a quarter, you know, about 25 percentile, as that is typically what we do see after these like very volatile moves before putting in another consolidation and then resolving that consolidation. Now that consolidation obviously can be resolved to the downside as well, but ultimately speaking, and I am, yep, okay, I'm freshly out of all positions, so we are good to go. Woo! God damn, man, that was a little bit shaky there for a second, but I was aiming a little bit lower there, but that's okay. But my point is that, you know, after these volatile situations, it's going to take some time to cool off, and while that consolidation obviously can lead to continuation of the downside again, you know, I'd be looking for that in conjunction with the hash ribbon signal over here to kind of give Bitcoin a little bit of life, and that would give me a little bit more confidence that Bitcoin very likely does, you know, continue on with a macro rally to the upside. Now, what else is coming in around that $35,000 level? Well, it's not just the 618 Fibonacci retracement that we identified earlier on the higher term timeframes right here. That would be right there. We're actually right around the 0.5 currently speaking, but it's also the 377 on the daily as well. A very classic one, very big one. And, you know, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, kind of like the 200 simple, you know, you typically look for a bounce there at the very least. And in this case, you know, I do like that area. It also did kind of bottom around there in 2017 as well. And on top of that, we do see that the weekly 55 is coming in right around that region as well. So multiple things coming in with that region, and I would, tentatively speaking, I would really like that. Doesn't mean that I'll get it, doesn't mean that it's destiny, but with the way that Bitcoin's looking right now, I do think that it's rather likely. And it's also going to be the monthly 10 simple right here too, as you can see, crawling its way up, which probably does reach to about 35,000 bucks next month. And seeing as we have another, I don't know, 10 or so days left of trading within the month of May. Let's see what, actually, yeah, about 12 days left trading. We have 31 days in May. I would be looking for that to probably come up, you know, another couple $100 right there. Or sorry, another couple of $1,000 right there. It did rise up about $3,000 from April to May, and that would put it at actually another $3,000 would put it right around $35,000. So I do like that region overall. Anyways, let me just. Do I want to take a bit of a scalp bounce? Do I want to gamble on a scalp bounce? Oh man, probably not. Probably not the wisest thing to do while you're live. All right, sweet. Anyways, I think we can get out to some comments now. Holy shit, man. Things are moving today. Things are fucking moving. All right. Let's see. Where did I leave off last? Okay, I see Michael Crooks. He says, TLS. What is TLS? Would you short for 2960 eggs? Oh, TLS. Symbol TLS. Okay. Symbol TLS right here. Let's see, Telos Corporation, or is this some sort of a crypto? Okay, it's not a crypto. We got a real stock right now. We got a real boy. It's like Pinocchio. Wow, this looks really awful on the monthly. See what the weekly looks like. Yep, really awful as well. Would I be looking for a short somewhere around 2960, exit out 2716? Let's see. Let's see. Yep, it certainly is a downtrend right here. We do have a slew of lower highs, and we do have about the same lows. Actually, I think that this one is in the on the precipice of breaking down, if not already has broken down. You do have a descending triangle right here. I actually think that this probably ends up going lower if I had to guess, just by kind of visualizing this one right now. But I'd actually be looking a little bit lower than that. But it depends how long term you are. So the first question is, oh wait, no, it actually already is. Would you short 29.60? Actually, it's trading above there, so probably not. I'd probably look a little bit higher than that. I'd want to see if this one actually wants to break down today. How would I judge that? Well, I'd want to see where momentum oscillators are right now. And this one, yes, does look like it wants to break down. We see daily TSI looking like it wants to cross the downside. It's obviously in the bearish buy zone as well. We do see daily RSI getting absolutely massively rejected by the bullish control zone right there. I think that's rather telling in and of itself. Now, I would be looking for a short-term bounce off this region, so I think that you can probably, if you really want it, you can probably enter a little bit higher, maybe somewhere right around 30.5 to $31. But ultimately, do I think that this one breaks down? It's looking like it really wants to. In long term, do I think that it has more downside to go than that? I actually do. But if you are looking for the more short-term move, would I agree with your 27-ish target? I mean, that is kind of where these last little slew of wicks come in right here. So a little bit above there, to be fair. I'd say that's about where I'd be, but it depends how long term you are, because I actually would be looking at this one as likely to come down further to downside over time. So it depends how long you actually want to hold something like that. Looking at a monthly, I mean, this looks like this is the dying swan formation, as our good friend Mr. Jack calls it. Let me take another sippy sip of this coffee. I'm almost all the way there right now. Let's see what we got. Oh man, holy shit. Holy shit, sir. Holy shit. Mark McManus says analysis on EXPI. EXPI, symbol EXPI. Okay. EXP World Holdings. Let's see. I'd probably be looking for a monthly bounce here, but is that already getting faded on the daily? Okay, so you do have a bit of a death cross inbound on the daily right here. So typically speaking, I look for a rally into this region, and then that's where I do like to enter something like this. But in this case right here, you do have obviously sort of like the what's it called? What's a good word for this? Like it's bait. What am I trying to say here? It's baiting a trade with something like this. So what I would say is that I'd actually wait on this one right here. I'd actually wait on this one, because short term it very likely does bounce back up. At the very least, I'd be looking towards just below $31, somewhere around 30.85 region, as we do see a clear and obvious shift in short term momentum. But this is the big area right now, 37.5. And that's coming in right around the 200 exponential average and the 55 exponential average right there. So what I actually would wait for is if it actually pops back above this region. If that happens, that would be the classic bait and switch. And if you see something like that, it's typically going to run the other way, in this case to the upside, quite significantly. So I'd be having more targets back up here. Short term towards 47.80, and then I'd be having another one around here at about just below $60. But overall, it all hinges upon this region right here. So short term, yes, I would be looking for a rally up, and I'd actually wait, because I'd want that trade on the other side a little bit more, to be honest with you. Let's see what the weekly says as well. Yeah, weekly's looking for a bit of a bounce here. Hidden bullish divergence on that on our current low. I'd be looking for this one to bounce back up, and weekly target off that sort of a signal would be somewhere right around about $34.5. If that's going to be the target, would that actually bring us above that region? It would bring us right to that region. So I would be looking for a short-term move, very likely somewhere around about $34.5. The question is, do we get rejected there or not? If you do not, if you actually see it shoot above, that will be that classic runaway trade, and I'd be looking for this one to run the other way significantly. And personally speaking, do I think that that's what's going to happen? Yeah, I do actually. I actually do. I do respect the weekly uptrend right here, at least for what it's worth right now. At least for a little bit of a continuation drive right there. All right, what's up, Steph? Steph says doggy USD Femex. Okay, yeah, we can look at. I mean, I'd prefer to go to exchange with a more long running history, but Femex actually has been getting a lot of love recently. Femex seems to they seem to know what they're doing, so I do kind of we can look at them, although I do think that'd be more relevant to look at a more long running exchange. Yep, finally getting that downturn right there. So remember, if we can go back to my more long running chart over here, it's right here. So remember, we came into this one about 2 weeks ago. We said, okay, Elon Musk high, kind of an obvious trade right around Saturday Night Live. and then comes down, puts in that bull trap though, puts in the bull trap right around the 618 Fibonacci retracement right there on a bearish retracement. Key component. And as long as it's below there, I do play it to the downside. And well, it is below there. So now we have an actual downtrend on our hands. We have high, low, lower high, and this one is quite literally flirting with a lower low right now. Personally speaking, do I think that this one goes lower? Yes, absolutely I do. 34 cents and probably more over time. This is a dog shit chart is what it is. You know, Dogecoin loves to pump and dump out of nowhere, and you know, I feel like we played this one pretty well, like really holding off on calling the top until that moment that it was actually confirmed. And what do we see on the weekly now? 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. That is, well, going to extend my targets down to 25 cent, very likely a bounce there, and then extension to about 20 cent, and I'd be looking for a greater bounce there. Potential major low at 20 cent. However, I really don't like, you know, meme shit like this in a market cycle like we're looking at Bitcoin right now. You know, when you see something like this get played, which this is a dead project. It hasn't had any code released on its GitHub in like years, from what I understand. It's why fucking get into something like this? Why get into something like this when there are, you know, more fundamentally sound projects, but again, you're not really asking that, and Bitcoin's actually dropping a little bit more than $39,000 right there. So am I going to be wrong about a bouncy bounce relatively soon? I still think that we got one in order relatively soon here. In fact, yeah, I do think that it will happen pretty much from somewhere around this region right here. But goddamn, man, it's acting kind of like it wants to die right now. Ethereum, let's see if it's doing the same thing. Very close to the 377. In fact, I might even be looking at that as a bit of a bounce area right there too. So let's see what we have on over here. Just want to double check my other screen. Okay. All right. And we can do something like that. Okay. Excellent. Sweet. Okay. And back into the comments over here. All right, I think I missed a couple other ones. Let's see. What's up, Dan? Sushi USD one day. I think Sushi was it one of the winners today? Let's go back on over here. I'm actually curious to see, and then we'll look at its actual chart. Yeah, it actually was one of the. No. Oh man, this is actually fucked. Our top 10 best coins are only stable coins, and then the other ones are just the ones that are losing the least right now. All right, so let's go look at Sushi Derp. We got Sushi USD right here. Food tokens, man, not doing too hot. But to be fair, I mean, it's holding up relatively well in comparison to many other things. I mean, this one is still in a weekly uptrend, to be fair. Same thing on the daily as well. I'd be looking for a short-term downside or downside continuation to about 1665-ish region, and very likely a short-term bounce there. Question is, though, can it hold the higher low structure, which is basically just right at that $16 pivot? If it does break that, I would be looking for deeper retracements lower, down to about 12.5, and that's going to start to look like this one wants to actually crumble a little bit more. But I'd give it the benefit of the doubt first. I always go with trend first, and in this case right here, the trend is quite literally to the upside. So I'd say just a little bit more short-term downside right there, and I'd very likely be looking for a bounce right around that region. Holy shit, man. Bitcoin actually is just a strong... No. It's right. Okay, yeah, it's right around 39. Okay, there you go, Bitcoin. Show a little bit of life, sir. Show a little bit of life. Have a bit of self-respect, please. Have a little bit of self-respect for yourself. Anyways, I'm really trying to hold off on what's it called? On playing a bounce here. I really... I feel like you learned this lesson too many goddamn times. Just unnecessary risk in this environment. But it never goes away. I'll tell you that, man. I'll tell you that. All right, let's get back onto the comments over here. Hey, what's up, Armin Hossein? Why is it crashing? Well, it appears that there's more sellers than buyers right now. No, it's actually Elon Musk. He tweeted, and then that just caused the market to fall. It's just that simple. No, of course, all jokes aside, does a tweet do anything? No, a tweet doesn't do anything. The only thing that ever moves the markets ever in a more very directed sense is buys and sells. Nothing else can move the market other than buys and sells. That is quite literally a fact, unless if you have like literal exchange manipulation. But I don't think that that's what's going on here. I think that you just have an asset, playing out a pullback after going 7 months unabated to the upside for hundreds and in some cases thousands of percent. I think that's very reasonable to be looking for. Scott Carney, oh, I swear you skipped me on purpose. I do not, sir. I do not. But again, as we've said before, there's a lot of comments here. Sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult to pull them back up. And as I've politely asked in the past, if you could just wait until I get to the until I get to the comments. It would be so much easier for me to pull up your comments. And instead of just commenting again that I skipped you on purpose, if you could just repost your comment instead, assuming that you already, made it, that would be extremely helpful for myself. And it really help the process. I hope that comes off in a very respectful way. But please, for the love of fucking God, in the future, could you do that? So fair enough. Oh, wow. Actually, I do. Hey, what the fuck? Oh, I guess I do have a position right there. That's weird. Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay. All right, sweet. Let's make sure that we get out of this piece of shit, though. That would be a good idea, huh? That'd be a good idea. And how much do I have right there? Okay, 115. All right, sweet. Okay, there we go. Okay, and back onto the comments over here. I'll await Scott Carney's next comment. Bitcoin Delphine says, "Sir, I have a net short from 48,000 bucks. I plan to hold if this turns bear long term. When holding long term positions, have you dealt with ADL, sir? Chest bruh." Well, Mr. Z's bruh, have I dealt with ADL on long term positions? No, I don't believe so. I mean, how would you get? That is essentially a deleveraging, right? I mean, if you're, I only trade on cross anyways, so I don't really even pay attention to that, to be honest with you. I mean, if your liquidation price is anywhere near your entry price to begin with, that's an issue, you might say. That's a pretty big issue, man. But as far as your position goes, man, that's a fucking phenomenal position. You basically shorted multiple of these. Of these past lower highs right here. See this one about 16th of May. So I think, if you are holding a position like that, you're on the same side of the trend as long as Bitcoin is below about 45,500-ish region. So obviously you don't want to give profits up. And I do think that, you probably do get ultimately another drive lower. But now you have to be asking yourself the question, Delphine, do I want to potentially give up a little bit of profits if Bitcoin bounces here and still even continues to the downside? Or do I want to just hope and pray and, maybe not have to worry about it as much? That's a decision for you to make, obviously, but it's something to consider, of course, as well, because there will be an ebb and flow, just like to the upside, there is to the downside as well. And I would be looking, and as I have been saying earlier, I do think that Bitcoin bounces relatively soon here. All right, looks like we're good on that as well. Okay, sweet. All right, everything is nice and ship-shappy over here. There he is. I see Tokyo Channel. How you doing, brother? I'll get to that in just a second, but let me just make sure that I didn't miss another Scott Carney question. Let's see. Flavius Ferris says, "Morning, sir. What's up, man? How much do you think that a 2013-2014 pullback would affect altcoins? How much could they drop? Would love some Cardano below 50 cents. Okay, well, the problem is with this market right here is we actually don't see altcoins acting on the whole totality as they did in those past prior market cycles for Bitcoin specifically. So do I think that Cardano would come down? Yes, but does it come down as much? I mean, typically the ones that were strong on the way up are going to come down less in comparison to your market indices, which I look at Bitcoin essentially as a major market indice. So in this case right here, do I think that if Bitcoin were to come down to, let's say, 35,000 bucks, do I think that Cardano would come down lower? Well, the problem is that, look, your last major base was right here between about 135 and about $1.10 even on a weekly, and that's actually right around the 21 here as well. And guess what? You do have bearish divergence on the weekly, so I do think that you will come down somewhere around about $1 very likely. But until we actually break that last higher low out of this structure right here at about 110, I think that looking for 50 cents is just, it's not that it's not relevant, it's just it's too far away for that to be a reasonable assessment for someone like myself who trades more or less short and medium term time frames. So in this case right here, if it does start to break this 110 low, would I be on the same side as you? Actually, I do think it would go maybe a little bit lower than that, somewhere around. Oh no, sorry, I would be looking somewhere around about 65 cents for the next sort of for the next sort of big bounce, and then potentially a little bit lower than that, somewhere around about 45 cents. So I take it one step at a time in this case, and in this case right here, I mean, technically speaking, it is still in an uptrend, even though it does have a bit of short-term downside and probably does trade a little bit further down from where we're at right now. But one thing before the next one, I'd want to see that 110 low taken out first. Then we can start to talk about a 65 cent target, and then we'll take it from there. So is it possible? Yeah, well, everything's possible, right? It's how probable is it? I'd say as of the current moment, it's not. It wouldn't be my first target. I'll put it that way. I'd want to see a few other things happen first. But this one's been acting one of the best ones to the upside on this whole run. So when Bitcoin does come down, I expect this one to not come down as much, and that's actually exactly what we have thus far. It is coming down, relatively a lot right here, obviously about 35% in comparison to Bitcoin's maybe close to, I'm going to guess like 40% now. But let's see. Yeah, about 40%, almost 41% right here. So it holds up, relatively well, but, still going to come down at, still going to come down at the same time. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Scott Carney says BFARF Nasdaq listing in 1 week, ascending triangle. Is it BFARF? Usually a listing on an exchange is a chance to sell. Is it an ascending triangle? You know, again, we've been looking at this one for the last few days at your request. And do I think that it's still an ascending triangle? As long as it holds 370, 375, yes. And that is your last gap right there, by the way. So I do think, you know, it's a strong likelihood. But on that listing, that is typically a dump event. That is typically a dump event. You see the run up over here. I imagine this was in anticipation of a listing like this. I would be, you know, I'd be a little bit, I'd be very cautious around the actual listing event, but short term, a little bit of downside here, and I'd be looking for another bounce off that 375-ish level. And as long as it holds this, well, technically speaking, yeah, you would be right, and I would be looking for an upside resolution. But here's something to consider on the other side. We do see weekly TSI turning down right now, playing out that same trend line going all the way back from December 2020. And we do see that weekly RSI is obviously, well, it's looking a lot more deconstructive now, is what it's looking like, man. Trading below the exponential right there. It's not a death sentence, obviously, but I would be looking for another move somewhere down around that region. This is the daily, of course, so see what it looks like on a weekly. Yeah, weekly, you know, also the 21 coming in around there as well. So, you know, I would be looking for a bounce there first and foremost. Give it some time. But you said Nasdaq listing in 1 week. I'd strongly feel like that's going to be a sell the event type of event, if you will. Anyways, moving on. We got Hex Outlaw. What's up, man? Hex USD daily and weekly, please, sir, on Uniswap. All right, Hex USD, I think it only trades on Uniswap and BTC of all godforsaken places. We can check it out on Uniswap, however. Although I think it would be a better idea to check it out on, to be honest with you, I do think it'd be a better idea to check it on HitBTC. The reason why I say that is because it has more history. This is not giving me too much right here on a weekly. If I go over here to HitBTC, you can see much more history. To be fair, and I might get some hate for this, but to be fair, Hex still does not have a bad chart in comparison, especially to the rest of the market. I mean, this is a respectable chart for right now. Do I think it could have some short-term downside? Yeah, could very easily come back down to about 4.5 cents. But if we go back to the weekly right here, I mean, this is holding up extremely well in comparison to the rest of the market. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. I don't know what the fuck this thing does, but apparently it just makes Richard Hart really, really rich is what I think it does. But looking at this right here, you know, to give it a chance to have a little bit of a short-term downside move, but ultimately, I guess I respect it for right now. Now, here's the thing. You actually do see some real sellers coming in here for the first time in a very long time. What's this? Nothing for about a year. And then all out of nowhere, you see a little bit of red volume on the, you know, on the dump party. So I think it's a little bit concerning. Again, I know that there's some interesting issues with the structural integrity of this, fundamentally speaking. That's not my game to play, but if I'm just looking at it from a chart perspective, yeah, I think a little bit of downside, maybe 4.5 cents, but very likely does bounce there. This one is holding up, so it does deserve a little bit of respect for that reason alone. Let's go down to like a very low term time frame. Yeah, I'd be looking for another short-term downside move, but here's the problem, man. If someone decides to sell, which it looks like this is coming out of no, look, man, this is. Look, I'll shoot you fucking straight. This is a humongous warning signal right here, okay? This is a humongous fucking warning signal, okay? Where is this volume coming from? After fucking nothing for a year. Look, put two and two together, okay? This is, I'm not trying to be demeaning or condescending, but this is concerning, sir. Let's see what it looks like on Uniderp over here. Let's see what it looks like over here versus Tether. Actually, it's actually still good. On this chart, I'd have to be bullish, man. Oh my fucking god! All right, look, if you're just looking at Uniswap, yeah, I'd be looking back up towards 6.5 cents. So I guess, seeing as you specifically asked about Uniswap, yeah, I'd be looking for another short-term move back up to the upside, 6.5 cents, and fair enough. But that HitBTC chart is extremely concerning. But it looks like these are not trading together right now. These are two bifurcated charts right here. So for specifically the chart that you're looking at, yes, up. Krown says head and shoulders, but thoughts on Ethereum bouncing off the daily 21 and potential bounce targets. Yeah, we already looked at Ethereum's head and shoulders, I do believe, over here. Hey, what the fuck's going on? Did the stream just die? No, it did not. All right, cool. We'll go back on over here. Yeah, we looked at it right here. Target would be, I think, like mid to, no, hold on. It wasn't on this chart. Oh, yes, it was on this chart over here. All right, here we go. We can pull it up right here. It'd actually be much, much lower, about $2,500, but that can take some time to play out. And I'm not a humongous fan of head and shoulders in general, but you're asking, is it going to bounce off the daily 21? Sir, the daily 21 is way the fuck on over here. it did bounce off the daily 21, bounce actually rather significantly from about 3.2 to all the way up to about 3.550. But that moves over, man. Maybe we're looking at different things, but from my estimation, it's nowhere near that near that right now. Okay, but where would I be looking for a bounce here? I mean, this thing can very easily bounce back up to about 3,100 bucks, but I'd look for Bitcoin for direction right now. Weekly, showing 2,600 as well. So I do think that it ultimately will make a leg down there, but that's actually where I would be looking for a greater bounce. A lot of bad things going on in Ethereum right now. We do see multiple drives of bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3, 4 going on right here. We do see weekly TSI turning down at the same time. Again, this isn't the bullish buy zone, obviously, but does that mean that we can come down and play out another move into the mid 2000s over the next month or so? Yeah, even weekly Jewel is actually giving a bit of a sell signal there too. Although I don't like these ones that turn down immediately, but it is it is very reminiscent of what happened on Bitcoin over here too, as you do remember from way back on in 5th of April. Now 5th of April, when Bitcoin was trading actually 1 week before the ultimate high. This was one week before the ultimate high. That was about 60,000 bucks, and about a little bit more than a month and a half later, we're at where we're at right now. So that's going to take a long time to play out, most likely. How's Theta doing? I don't know. Theta's probably doing what Theta does. Let's see. It's probably doing what the rest of the market is doing, if I had to guess. But then again, I've also learned my lesson that not everything in this market is playing with Bitcoin right now. This one, again, holding up decently well in comparison to it. But when we go down to the daily, what do we see right here? We do see the etchings of a downtrend in progress right now. We do see our last lower high coming in from this $12.5 tick right there. I've been looking at something like this. Probably does try another anemic bounce off this region, most likely. But ultimately, I think that it breaks down and finds its way towards about $6.5. I would say so. Again, look for Bitcoin on direction. If Bitcoin bounces, I'd be looking for, most things to bounce as well in various forms of relative strength. And then if Bitcoin wants to take another drag down to like 35,000 bucks or even low 30,000 bucks, then I'll be looking for these guys to break down with it. Okay, let's see. Oh, there he is, Mr. Lee. Hashtag gay for TA. What's up, brother? Let's see. Yasik, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Nice and early stream today. Tokyo Channel says, just like old days, right? Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, my friend. Still in profit, not wrecked like some of the new guys. Oh, my man. My man. Now, of course, we don't want to, talk down to the new guys or anything like that. Yeah, everyone learns through experience, of course, in my in my estimation, and hey, this baptism in blood, it can be used as a positive experience long term if you really internalize something like this, because these events can and will certainly happen again. It's just market cycles, man. Let's see. Okay, you're looking at USD, dollar yen. Okay, yeah, man, we can look at that. I absolutely love looking at Forex, and it actually gets our eyes away from this damn cryptocurrency market for a second. Downside, man, I'd be looking for a little bit of downside right here, back down to about 108.5. Long term, however, did you give me a time frame? You did not give me a time frame. Damn it, Tokyo. Long term, this does look like another lower high. Now, doesn't it? We do have one massive formation going on right here, something like this. Actually, I wouldn't even put in this bottom one right here, to be honest with you. I just like the lower high structure for right now. Let's look at what the monthly is looking like as well. Yeah, I'd be looking for another stab down. Let's see what momentum oscillators are suggesting here. Momentum oscillators actually do say that the next downside move very likely gets picked up. Let's see what the daily says. Daily is downside angle as well, so I'd be looking for a little bit of short-term down. 108.5, but depends what time frame you're asking about. All right, Burnt Krem, there he is. Oh, shit, I just lost my place once again. Jesus Christ, man. It's the end for people who sell. Actually, the people who sold seem like they're doing pretty well, sir, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, this is what I really don't like about this market, though. It's like this cult-like behavior. It's like, if you sell, you're the enemy. It's like, what the fuck? No, people are allowed to do what they want to do. I mean, someone had to sell in order for you to buy, assuming that, I'm going to assume that you're probably long. I'm going to assume that you're very likely long. All right, let's see. I mean, but at the end of the day, man, if you let go. Oh, there he is, Mark B, Mr. Plums. Mr. Plums back in the house. And what's up, Nimbo? Come on, think about the children. Yes, the children. Yes, they need their cones, and they are getting wrecked right now. It looks like YouTube just blocked me from pulling up more comments right there, so it definitely missed some. Let me see how far back I can go. So I do apologize in advance, because it looks like I am going to... Looks like I might have missed a few, but let's see how far back I can pull. Okay, I can pull it back to Jeff. Good day, sir. Good day, man. Wondering when your next sale will be. We'll probably do like a flash sale for Memorial Day for the Americans out there, and then the big one will be Midsummer, which is a really, really big holiday here in the Nordic countries. And I think it's like a European holiday in general. I'm not so sure about that, but let me know if you live in Europe and that's a thing where you live too. But it's like middle of June, I think, mid to late June. So yeah, man. Sounds good on that. And in Memorial Days, I think like later this month, maybe like the last day of this month, something like that. All right, sweet. Chiefs will lose says your favorite YouTubers about to have to downsize life. I mean, well, I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, but I do imagine that most of them probably are long. I mean, then again, there's got to be. I mean, there's definitely some traders as well, man. There's definitely some traders as well. I mean, not everyone's just fucking going long, right? CG, right? Not everyone's just going long, right? Right? CG3 says Bitcoin 4-hour potential 3 drives bull div on the RSI. The problem with 3 drives of bullish divergence right here is that we don't have a local low in place just yet. Now I do think that it very likely does put in something resembling a local low right here. We did say at the beginning of this stream that I'd be looking for some bouncy behavior somewhere at around 39,000 bucks. We did go a little bit lower than that to about 38.5, but we'll just ignore that right now. Can't be exact in this case. And if Bitcoin does put in a low right here, if it does confirm a local low, will it have 3 drives of bullish divergence? Actually, yes, it will. 1, 2, 3 drives coming off this low right here. What's also very interesting about this is that we even see a nice little trend line forming right there as well. So it would imply that Bitcoin does essentially put in, again, a short-term low right here. Targets for that would be very likely somewhere around 42 to 43,000 bucks is where I'd be looking towards. So how would you confirm a local low right here? Well, it's not going to happen on this current dildo right now as it stands. If this does close something resembling like a hammer dildo, and then we take out the top side of this coming into the next full hour, that'd be a very aggressive way of looking at this one as a local low. And then yes, I would be looking at a targeted region between about 43,000 bucks on a bounce. Could that go for more over time? Maybe yes. I do think that Bitcoin is going to be due for a relatively big bounce once we get there. But is this the time right now? I think that this is still a little bit risky right now. So again, it would take a little bit of time, but perhaps around midday today, around the 12-hour close, if you do see that sort of a structure in place, yes, you will have 3 drives of bullish divergence. And yes, I would be targeting to move about 2,000 to 3,000 bucks higher than where we're at right now. A little bit more than that, perhaps. So fair enough. All right. Tokyo Channel says, folks seeing doom and gloom when this time last year we were at 3,000 USD. I know, man. I know. Perspective is a hell of a drug, isn't it? Bitcoin Delphine says ADL is when you are in a high percentage of P&L and they close you. Oh shit. Well, in that case, no, I've never dealt with that myself. So I imagine that would probably only happen is if you're like really juicing the leverage there. That's like the only situation that I could think that would happen. But if you're on cross, maybe I don't know. Would you close if my P&L retraces by 30% though, sir? Look, man, for myself, Bitcoin Delphine, I'll give you my answer, what I'd do for myself. But here, at the end of the day, you got to make the decision for yourself. I fucking hate giving up profits. And what I mean by that is when the market puts it in your hand, fucking close it. One of the big things that I learned from my mentor was take the money when it's in your hands. Don't get too greedy. And look, man, you shorted, if I recall correctly, about 48,000 bucks. You made a phenomenal trade, man. You're almost 10,000 bucks in profit, or you were about 10,000 bucks in profit on that last little drive down. Would I be taking profit at 39,000 bucks? Absolutely yes. At least a little bit, at least a third. I mean, personally speaking, I would have taken, at least 50%. But that's my way of trading, man. I don't like giving up profits. Do I think Bitcoin could ultimately go lower? Yes. Could it take some time? Also, yes. Could Bitcoin bounce in between that time? I think that's very likely, in fact. So, if you really want to put that position on again, you probably could. From a little bit lower, and you'd also be able to lock in some profits as well, man. Look, there's one thing that I imagine a lot of people who are in this market, who are fresh in this market as well, as our friend Tokyo Channel denoted earlier, who wish that they took profit up here. Look, man, when you get a little bit too greedy, that's typically the sign, in my experience, to take some profit. When you start, here's a really good sign, personally speaking, of when to take profit. This one almost to no end never fails. And it's really fucked up for myself. The second I start thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to do with this money if it goes all the way to this area right here? Close it. Just fucking close it, man. Just fucking close it. Because that is usually when you get a little bit euphoric. And, at the very least, pull some in, man. At least pull some in. You'll be able to realize some. It'll make you feel better. And look, man, you had a phenomenal trade. closing at least 30% or I'd even argue more would only be good. And look, man, you put on a great trade, you put on a great fucking trade. So there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to put on another great trade. So that's my point is, step it back a little bit and realize that if you did that, you have a skill, and if you have a skill, you can repeat that. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do it again. Assuming that you had like an actual plan going into it, just follow the plan, and over time, that plan will be your friend, in my experience. Let's see. Stempex says, hey sir, what's up, man? New to your stream. Well, welcome, man, and good to meet you. Must say, it's really funny, and I learned a lot from you. I'm glad you can enjoy it, man. It's certainly not for everyone, especially like the opening statements. I imagine like 50% of people just log off, but I got to get out of myself, man. I got to get out of myself. Elsa was telling me that there was someone who said, this is the most annoying stream, I'm out, who reposted that 3 times. Hey, fair enough, man. Again, I totally understand. This is not for everyone. Can you show XRP USD on the 4-hour and daily? It is going to be an annoying stream when you talk about downside, man. But hey, that's why this channel did come out in the 2018 bear market. And I imagine the OGs of this channel, you're very much familiar with this. Anyways, XRP USD on the 4-hour. Actually, I have a chart over here. Let's see how this one's following. Again, holding up decently well in comparison to Bitcoin. I think that does deserve some respect. And look, man, XRP is still in an uptrend right here. Still got the higher low structure as long as it's above about 1.25. I do believe yesterday we were looking for this one to play within this region right here. It still is. I think it might have another slight downside move, but overall, I actually respect Ripple as long as it's holding this higher low right here, which is basically synonymous with the 55 right now at about $1.25. Below $1.25 though, that's where I do start to look a lot further down, somewhere around about $1 even. You also asked about the 4-hour, or before we get to the 4-hour, I do want to say daily TSI will turn up on any sort of a closure above 156. That is a little bit further away from us right now, so probably not happening today. But if it does happen, that'd be your obvious bullish continuation signal and a resolution of this ascending triangle to the upside. But in this case right here, 4-hour is very obviously turning down. 4-hour TSI turning down. 4-hour RSI rejection from the bullish control zone. I'd be looking for this one to come a little bit lower and very likely base somewhere off this region again. Question is, does it hold that region or not? If it does not, I'd be looking for targets down to about $1. Is that ascending triangle target 233? Let me just kind of do some bad mental math. Okay, we got 20, 60, 40. No, it'd be more like $2. It'd be more like $2. And long term, I have a hard time hating this chart right here long term, to be fair, especially if we go to the monthly. I don't hate this chart, man. I don't hate this chart at all. In fact, can it have some downside to $1? I'd be looking at that as an opportunity, if anything. At least for now, at least as long as the monthly looks something resembling this, I do like it long term. Actually, again, not making any comments on the underlying technology. I know that this is one of the most hated things of all time, but fair enough, man. You do have to respect the charts in my experience. The Hex Volumizer bot. Yeah, there you go. Justin says thoughts on Hoggle. Okay, HOGL. Looks like it is not on TradingView. Now you did say $sign Hoggle, so maybe it is too new, or maybe you actually need the $sign, but no, neither of those is going to bring up anything. So unfortunately, I am limited by what I can actually see on TradingView, and it does not look like I can pull that up, man. So I do apologize, but I cannot see that one, man. I'm gonna guess that it's probably just too new of a ticker, and TradingView just doesn't host it right now. If it's not new and TradingView doesn't host it, that's also a really bad sign. Michael Crick says GG, II, and 1 hour and 4 hour. Okay, GG, II. Green Globe International trades OTC. Oh dear lord. Oh my fucking god, man. Why did you? Why? Hourly's good. TSI turning up. RSI rejecting the bearish control zone. That's usually pretty conclusive in my experience. I'd be looking at 4 hour to trade a little bit upside here too. Hidden bullish divergence. TSI, I'd like to see it turn up as well. BBWP very, 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 very low here. So I do think that you are in for a bit of an expansion. I'd be looking for a move back up to about 13 cents-ish region. Could it continue on from there? I mean, look, man, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that just because I don't like this at all. But at least, you do have a couple of good things going for you. Kind of popping back above this long-term accumulation range going all the way back to May 2010. If you can start to actually close weekly dildos above about 13 cents, actually, let me double check on that. Yeah, about 13 cents. I'd actually be looking for this one to really put in a nice rally to the upside. But again, trades OTC, man, I usually don't like this kind of stuff, and still have some work to do here. So I would express major concern. If this was on like real markets, I think it'd be okay. But short term, yeah, a little bit of upside. Even the daily has some hidden bullish evidence in play here too. I'd be looking for another reapproach of like 13.5 cents. Oh, you're just asking about very low term time frames. All right, fair enough. Ampinon 5 and 5 says, how's audio looking? All right, I think this is another highly esteemed cryptocurrency. Let's see, audio USD on Binance. Yeah, looks like this one is losing. It's not that it's losing structure right here. It's that it is forming a bearish structure, isn't it? All right, let's see. We got something like this going on here. The question is, does it bounce again off this, off this current area? I think, let's go down to the lower term time frames and see. It likely does try another bounce off this region, but long term, I would look for a downside resolution. This one can spend a little more time consolidating within this region. I wouldn't be surprised to see it maybe even bounce back up to like 180 to 190-ish region again. But long term, I would favor the downside. I would be looking for a dollar target to the downside long term. So did you give me a time frame? You did not. Let's go to the weekly as well. Weekly still okay. I mean, you do have to kind of respect, a long-term up like this on a weekly. So fair enough on that. But at the very least, I'd look at this as a major pivot. 160. If it starts to lose 160, especially on a daily, even maybe on a 4 hour, let's check. 4 hour, I'd move that a little bit further down, somewhere right around here at about 145. Then yes, I would be looking at this one as very, 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 very likely to tag down to about $1. $1, that is. Let's see what else we have. Ian Lynn says, wait. No! God damn it, I lost it again. Motherfucker. Oh, you bastard, Streamlabs. Let's see. Okay, who was that? Okay. Yes, I found it. Oh my God, amazing. Hello, sir. Advice on advice. I don't have any advice to give, man. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, BNB and BTC. So BNB versus BTC, is that what you mean? Is this what you mean? Closed 2/3 position in profit, but have lost a lot of potential profits, closed positions, or wait for a bounce midterm. Okay, midterm to me on something like this probably means like a 12 hour. Do I think that it will bounce from here? Yes, I do think it'll bounce from here. Probably bounce, maybe back up somewhere around like 0.011 region. Or sorry, a little bit higher than that. This one's actually cutting it close. Somewhere around here is what I'd be looking towards. Let's see what a daily looks like. Did you give me a time frame? You did not. Let's go to a daily. Yeah, overall, this one's very, very toppy to me. Daily jewel sell signal as well, coming in from 16th, 17th of May. Is that an actual high? Oh my God, it actually got the real high right there. Nice one. Look, this one probably has a short-term bounce, but I don't like it. I do think this one's going to trade down to like 95, 9,600 Satoshis over time. That is over time, obviously, but short term, medium term, does it bounce back up? Maybe bounce back up to like 0.111 to 112 region, something like that. But I do think that this one is on the precipice of like an actual breakdown, probably over the next few weeks here. Let's see what the monthly looks like too. Monthly's looking toppy. It's looking toppy, sloppy toppy. Let's see. The Joel Bear says taking profits is nice. Yeah, man, exactly. That is a very good disposition, my friend. Very good disposition. Yeah, I mean, remember that paper profits are only paper profits. You cannot spend paper profits, and they are meaningless in the long run. If you've been around here even since 2017, 2018, you know this to be true, and you probably learned, like everyone has, myself included, over time, a very painful lesson. And I imagine those are the people probably like you who are, well, who are of that opinion right now. And for the people who are not, they'll probably learn, at least from what I've seen. Hey, what's up, caretaker? There he is, Mark B. Your girlfriend Amarnath. What the fuck is her name? Amarnath. She needs to change her name. It doesn't matter anymore though. She's banned. She's banned from Twitch apparently. Let's see. J3F says Adam use. I think that means USD. All right, let's see. Another highly esteemed cryptocurrency over here, but this one is Cosmos. I think this one has had some good days. 4 hour and daily. Okay. 4 hour and daily. Daily down. I'd be looking for this one to trade back down to about $16 here. 4 hour. Maybe a little bit of a bounce from this region. I don't have a strong opinion on the 4 hour. Actually, no. 4 hour is just continuation. Many jobs of hidden bearish divergence right there. It's probably bounced a little bit with Bitcoin, but ultimately I do think this one will trade back down to about 16 and a half region. See what the weekly looks like as well. Weekly's kind of in a bouncy area, so could probably spend the next day or two maybe bouncing here, but overall I do favor the downside. Even weekly jewel is a little bit in the downside posture, but not enough history to really even populate it properly. So that's what I'd be looking at right there. But 4 hour death cross also impending here too. So usually I want to see a bit of a rally into that region before that one actually plays out. But in this case, where's your structure here? Your last structural low is about 1840-ish region. Below there, I start to look much lower. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, Crypto Caveman, how you doing, brother? Good to see you too, brother. Good to see you too. Lemon Tea, good morning to you. Emma Roar, good morning to you as well. He says, when moon? Well, it seems that the moon is actually through the center of the Earth at the core as well. No, again, you know, we've seen about 7 to 8 months of what is it, like 7 months or 8 months? Let's see. Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, just 6 months. Just 6 months. That's not enough, Krown. Now, 6 months of unabated upside. Yeah, I think it's relevant to be looking for some downside. Hey, to be fair, we even do have maybe some bearish divergence forming on the monthly, so that would also kind of play into my $35,000 target. Emma Roy says, when moon? By the way, that 5 head shining today. Thanks, man. I've been spitting on it recently and shining it up. It looks really, really good. Elsa loves it, man. She just fucking loves my gray hairs. Great. Really, really good stuff. BG, good morning to you, man. Bear Jesus cracking skulls. Yep, Bear Jesus has been hibernating for a while now, but he's getting his days in the sun as is likely, of course, as is likely. Let's see. The trading network. Hey guys, good to see you, Mr. Zach. Guys, check out the trading network. Really good guy, Mr. Z Felds over there. He says the ability to lock in that profit, detach from the trade, and move on to the next setup is indeed invaluable. Much love, sir. Much love to you as well, my friends. Or sorry, much love to you as well, my friend. Z Felds covers mostly traditional markets, but he has his trading channel there at the trading network, and he's a verified trader. He's good, and a good friend as well, man. So awesome, yeah, and exactly, you know. The ability to lock in profit and detach from the trade is a humongous portion of being a trader. You know, is being adherent to your actual targets. And you know, like I said, anytime that I've actually like started to, you know, fantasize about how much, you know, what I'm going to do with my profits, I almost always inevitably either give up a shit ton of my profits or even just all of them. You know, in the past especially. Very painful lessons that I unfortunately had to learn multiple times, especially when I was just beginning. The Joel Bear says, Krown, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. The best week of 2020 was the heinous 60% dump from March 7th to March 13th. If you bought then and sold now, you still got 8 to 10x. Yeah. Again, long-term perspective is very much, you know, is very valuable, and it's very interesting. You know, you can. I'm starting to feel that a lot of people here can tell who's been here for a while and who's not been here for a while. And hey, man, you know, I'm not trying to talk down to the people who are new to this market or new to trading or anything like that. It's all good. You know, we all have started from that same standpoint at some point in time, but use this as an opportunity to, you know, learn. And this is why I've been saying, you know, after this point right here, the best thing to be doing is, if you're not familiar with this, is to watch for a while. It's just to watch and you know, and let it be a very valuable experience for you long term, because again, these things will happen again. It will inevitably happen again across, you know, major assets and everything. Let's see. Cole Evans says, hey brother, what's up, Cole? Can you give me some bounce targets on Cardano, Binance USD? Give me a time frame, sir. Cardano USD. I mean, we can just go to the daily for this one. And okay, so you're looking for a bounce right here, I imagine. I mean, short term, probably like 190-ish region, I think is in the cards here. You know, still lower highs as long as you're below 210 on a 4 hour. So I would be, I would be very careful with this one. Bouncing off the 200 exponential average, you know, typically going to happen here. So I would be looking for a short term move to the upside. Again, anywhere around upper 180 to low 190-ish region. And then I'd say caution once again. But it depends what time frame you're looking at here. Depends what time frame you're looking at. Or are you just looking at where's like the next bounce on a daily perhaps? I'd be saying somewhere right around about 150, your prior breakout area right here is where I'd kind of be looking for on the daily. But again, it depends exactly what you mean by that, because I wasn't too specific. So I'm not exactly sure which way to take it on this, on that particular one. Jesus Christ, man. Coffee is coming up right now. Nasty. Where's Willy Woo? Where is Willy Woo, actually? I haven't seen him in a while now. Uh-oh. My place again. All right, let me try to pull it back up and let's see where we left off. Okay, I think I found it right here. We have Scotty P. What's up, Scotty P? OMG, laughing so hard at the opening. Thanks for that. My dog is now hiding under the bed. Sorry, I apologize to all canines out there. I know that they have very sensitive hearings, but you got to take all the opportunities that you get, man. You got to take all the opportunities that you get. Otherwise, it expresses itself in other ways, and that's very, very unhealthy in my experience. King Cosmic says, can you check SPY, please? Yeah, let's. Oh my God, yes. Let's check out traditional markets. I'm gonna look at SPY futures instead, just because it's trading right now, and we can probably get an insight as to what it's as to what the macro is doing. Oh, what do you know? Another lower high right here. I'd be looking for a move down to about 40.50. Well, we got a high, we got a low, we got a lower high. I would be looking for a bounce at 40, 50, 40, 60-ish region, but this does have the etchings of a downtrend forming. Weekly's looking very toppy here. Bearish divergence going all the way back. I'd be looking ultimately probably for a move just below $4,000, but that could take some weeks to happen, somewhere right around like 39.50. So it depends what time frame you're looking at. Oh no, you're looking at 1 and 4 hour. Okay, well 4 hour, yeah, I'd be looking for some downside continuation here. Hourly, yeah, 4 hour TSI turning down, 4 hour RSI back into the bearish control zone. Hourly, just continuation right here. I would be looking for a bounce around that region, but bless you, sir. Bless you again, sir. Let's see. Michael Saldivar says, love your app. Thanks, man. Glad you enjoy it, man. By the way, we also have mobile functionality now too. Can we check low short term? Okay, so low meaning the symbol LOW. Like Lowe's Company. Let me just double check this isn't a crypto. All right, thank God it's not, because I've never heard of this one. All right, Lowe's Company right here. Let's go to a weekly. No time frame given. Or no, you did say short term. Well, I would like to keep an eye on the weekly here. We have multiple drafts of bearish divergence. I would ultimately be looking for a move towards about 185 region. I'm just looking at short term time frames down. I'd be looking towards 180, 184, 185 region, and very likely a bounce there, and then I'd come back to it after that. But yeah, short term and long term both looking on the same side there. Tokyo Channel says, just curious, how much sushi costs where you're at? Well, I only go to like this all you can eat sushi buffet, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 12 euros or something for all you can eat. So there you go, man. Elsa probably knows like the actual cost of sushi. Elsa, how much does your 12 lot of sushi cost when you get it? I don't know, it's like 10 euros or something like that. Yeah, if you order it, how much is it? 15 euros. 15 euros for what, like 10, 12 pieces, something like that? Yeah, 10, 12 pieces, about 15 euros for delivery, according to Elsa. But if you go to the buffet, man, oh baby, it's all you can eat, and they don't know what Americans can do over there. Hey, Mr. Voltron, welcome, sir. Welcome to the cave. Javier Mano says, for Ethereum, where is the bounce ending? You mean where would a bounce target be for myself? I think it's easier to watch for Bitcoin here. I would give it a little bit of time today, to be honest with you. But, obvious bounce targets can be somewhere right around about 3,100-ish region. The question to me is that as long as Ethereum is playing with this lower high structure on the lower term timeframes, it's hard to be looking for anything above the last lower high, obviously. That would be 3550-ish region from yesterday's bouncy bounce. What we can do, though, is we can take a bearish fib retracement right here from our current low, assuming that this will be a low, which I do think that, it tries a rally off from this region. And I'd be looking somewhere around the 0.5 or 6 when it is typically going to be, your traditional areas. For a very bearish market, it's going to be the 382, that'd be 3150-ish region. That's kind of what I just said earlier. So anywhere between about 3150 to 3300-ish region. And then I'll look for any sort of weakness around there to kind of close positions, assuming that you're playing a bounce. Look, I do like playing bounces in this market, but I also would express caution playing bounces in this market as well. I mean, things can turn around extremely fucking fast here. But yeah, if you're just talking about short term right there. Okay, so you're looking to pull out completely. Hourly's looking like shit, man. I might even be wrong about that. Hourly's looking like shit. We did hit the target off of this little short-term consolidation breakdown. Let's see. I think that was on a 4 hour right here. Yeah, we just have a nice little consolidation right there. So again, I do think that it will bounce up somewhere around 3150-ish region, maybe as much as 3300, and then I'd be cautious around there. If you see any sort of weakness around that region, well, I'll let that kind of speak for itself. But again, Bitcoin's a little bit easier to watch for direction here. Again, assuming that Bitcoin does confirm a local low here, which I'd still give it a chance to do. We still have another 2 hours and about 23 minutes in this 4 hour dildo right here. I'd be looking for Bitcoin to pop back up somewhere around about 42 to 43,000 bucks. And then wherever Ethereum kind of lands around that time is where I'd be, is where I'd be maybe taking a bit of a risk off, if you will. All right, let's see what we got over here, man. Let's see what else we got. Voltron says, how do I get my dollar back after I get liquidated? You go to the exchange, you knock on their door, and you say, hey, Mr. ZZ, please help. Look, man, how do you get your dollars back if you get liquidated? Well, the thing is that the dollars aren't gone. They just belong to someone else now. Sorry. Sorry, but it is true. It's true. Luis Alejandro Cuseta says, hey, thanks for that, man. Appreciate that. Been enjoying and learning a lot from you. Yeah, man. Glad to hear, man. Glad to hear. Saludos, Destede. Tulum, Mexico. Yes, man. I speak a very small amount of Spanish myself, as I grew up in California, and actually did take a few years of it in middle school. But unfortunately, that's above my head right there, man. But hey, man, much love all the way from Mexico. I've actually been really considering planning a trip with Elsa there to Mexico, but she's scared. But I have to tell her, look, man, Mexico is actually pretty damn beautiful if you know where to go. Let's see. Big facts, my friend. My fucking man, Mr. Zfelds. My fucking man. DeCamps. Mr. DeCamps. He's back here. The Dominicans are here, and they are with Bear Jesus and Krown indeed. Matic has held up pretty well, all things considered. Your thoughts on either Matic USD or Matic BTC? Okay, so if you're talking about Matic holding up well, all things considered, I'm going to go with the Bitcoin pairing just because then we can get an idea of how it holds up in comparison to Bitcoin rather than just the US dollar, because versus the US dollar, I imagine everything's going to be coming down. I don't think I see too much green across the board. Oh my God. Phenomenally well. So again, this deserves a lot of respect. The reason why, oh my God, it's just the backfill on last daily open. Oh my fucking God, man, this is actually really good. What the hell? Hey, what the actual fuck is this thing? Hey, what is this thing? This is actually really fucking good. I'm pretty surprised to see this. I imagine some of the other stronger alts are doing something relatively similar to this. Anyways. Your thoughts on either the okay, no time frame given, but overall, where's your last structural low? Right around about 150. Hey, oh, sorry, I did do Matic USD. Oh my God, it even looks okay versus USD. Let's go BTC over here. Then this must be really good. Then yeah. Look, man, this is about as good as you can do in this market right now. Very, very impressive. Extremely impressive. Look, I do think you're going to come to a local high relatively soon, but as it stands right now, I just look at this as a backfill and back up. I'd be looking for at least one more high on this one. This is really, really powerful here right now, Mr. Kendrick. This is incredibly impressive. I'm actually a bit shocked to see something like this in this market. Yeah, Byerly's already confirming a bit of a local low. Humongous buyback. I mean, this is extremely impressive. I'd be looking for another run at the prior high and probably at least one more high on this one. But daily probably, when this thing does put in a daily high, you're gonna have some serious downside. Yes, but it's still going right now. I mean, yeah, it's really fucking extended right here. But I've learned my lesson with trying to call highs before they are actually in place. And in this case right here, this is not a high. This is higher low is what it is. It's what it's shaping up to be, man. Powerful shit. Very, very powerful shit. Dominicans know what the fuck they're talking about, it looks like. See what the monthly looks like. Okay, look, man. The problem with something like this is that coming into next month, this thing can play at like some serious down. This thing could come down like 50% and still remain monthly bullish, like macro bullish. So is that helpful? No. But your question quite literally is, how is it holding up all things considered? Very fucking well. How about that? Very fucking well. Extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. What's up, Porn Flakes? How you doing, man? What's up, Krown? Kisses from me and my doggy. Oh, your doggy too. Nice one. I love doggy kisses. They are just perfect. Elsa always tells me that a dog's tongue is more clean than a toilet, and that's why you shouldn't be afraid of kissing them. Problem is, I don't really like kissing toilets either. But but you know what, man? It sounds like you have a nice little doggy over there. Can you look at Boost VUSA on daily, please? Okay. VUSA. Oh, by the way, I do have to give a warning. I will be leaving in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes from this time. I have to go get an ID so I can hopefully get a bank account. I'm gonna go with this one right here on London. I'm gonna guess you're looking at London, but if you're not, let me know. Anyways, this is good. I mean, is it toppy right now? I mean, everything's kind of topping this market right now. That's the scary thing. Daily, I would be looking for this one to come back down to about 54.5 region, 54.69 region. Probably try a bounce there. But again, I'm looking at what's called U.S. markets as well, and seeing that this is a Vanguard fund, I'm gonna imagine it's probably gonna play with that. I'd be looking for a short-term bounce off of like 565 to 570 region. Long-term, I do think that it will come down alongside U.S. markets, but this is a pretty damn powerful chart, so I would say that it's relatively strong, all things considered. Major opportunities down around about low $50, like $52, but that's going to take a lot of time. You said daily. Okay, well, if we're just looking at the daily here, yeah, I'd be looking for a bounce somewhere around about just below $55. All right, nice one. Hey, what's up, 777? Good morning to you, my friend. Good morning to you. There he is. Our resident captain, our resident aviator. Tekken says, hello, my good dude. How you doing, Mr. Chi? Hopefully I'm saying that right, man. Is that a Dutch name? No, NOK. What is that? Norwegian. Yeah, Norwegian. Man, that does not look like a Norwegian name. Could you check out Sol USD on the 4-hour daily? Yeah, this one also gets a lot of love too. Solana. Let's see. Let's try it on Binance here. Yeah, again, holding up, all things considered, holding up really, really well. Not as good as that Matic thing that fucking Decamps was talking about. What the hell was that? What the fuck was that thing? That is just insane. That thing deserves a lot of respect. That thing's going to turn around extremely hard when this market turns around. But look, until Bitcoin, I think until Bitcoin puts in a low, it's really not the time to be putting on risk right now to the upside. For any sort of long-term trades. I would be looking for this one to come back down and base around about 41.5 bucks. I don't like 4-hour TSI turning down. I don't like 4-hour RSI rejecting the the bullish control zone in this case. I'd be looking for another continuation drive down here after a short-term bounce. Did you give me a time frame? Yeah, you did. 4-hour daily. That'd be my 4-hour. So 4-hour, probably bounces a little bit here. Daily's still good. Daily's still fucking good. What the hell? What the hell, man? Let's look at the monthly too. Starting to show a little bit of signs of toppiness there on the monthly, but I'd give it a short-term bouncy bounce here. Maybe back up to like 50 and a half to 51 region. And then I'll probably be looking for it to base a bit lower. I have a very difficult time going against the market. Until Bitcoin really puts in something resembling, at the very least, a 4-hour low, I would be very hesitant to be looking for bottoms on anything else. It's just when Bitcoin does do that, I'd be looking for something like this to be a major beneficiary of that, seeing as this is, holding up incredibly well, similar to that Matic Polygon thing. Which is fucking super impressive. I mean, I'm kind of blown away by something like that in this market because we really haven't seen something like that before within the context of like Bitcoin playing out some extremely nasty downside, which this certainly is. I mean, 40% down from the highs is not good, not fucking good. Oh, greetings from, you're Solverine. You're Solverine, man. What's up? Holy shit, you should have said so. You did say so. All right, there you go. Yeah, man. Plays with Bitcoin, but this one very likely does work out pretty damn well long term. Let's see. GY says, holy sheet, damn it. Fair assessment, my friend. Fair assessment indeed. Hey, there he is. The legend Ali. Z's is back in the house. We got it. Elsa was asking the other day, why are there so many Z's in your Discord? It's like, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this at all. Okay, Krown, stupid question. SPY, NASDAQ, Apple, AMD, F, Silver, all dumped 1% in the last 15-minute candle, regardless. Well, hold on. Most of those don't trade on futures, I don't believe, except for NASDAQ. Or are you talking about like the end of the day? Regardless of intraday direction, please explain this to dummy. Okay, so the way that the market works is it's similar to Bitcoin. Your major indices essentially run the market and give your major biases. Yes, every once in a while you're going to see a stock kind of run in the opposite direction, as you naturally will, similar to what we see with like Matic, for example. But for traditional markets, when you have something like that going on, it's usually either arbitrage related or maybe like fundamentally related to, I don't know, like interest rates, for example. It could be a multitude of things. I wasn't really paying attention to traditional markets yesterday. I've been mostly focusing my attention on Bitcoin because it actually does require a bit of attention right now. But in general, it's gonna be something related to that. Usually, though, the reason one of the things that people ask very often with crypto markets, with traditional markets, what have you, why is basically everything moving at the same time as each other? The reason is because of arbitrage. There are arbitrage opportunities as everything trades, versus Bitcoin, now Ethereum, and versus US dollar or some variation of that. At the very least, sometimes even like, other exchange coins and shit like that too. But, even just with that, there's always going to be some sort of an arbitrage opportunity, which means that market makers will be able to pull in the difference between that. And that is why, whenever there's a difference between those sort of spreads and whatnot, there's going to be a bit of an opportunity for market makers, depending upon what sort of strategy that they're running. And so they'll just arbitrage away the difference and, everything kind of moves somewhat together for the most part. But like I said, I wasn't paying attention specifically to traditional markets yesterday. So it could have been, like interest rate related if I had to guess, but I don't exactly know. Aaron Moore says in that specific situation, in your opinion, this is a 3-year bear market? No, I do not believe so. I think that Bitcoin probably plays out sideways and down from here, over the next few months, maybe like later this year, late summer, maybe even in the winter time. I'd be looking for, I'd actually still be long-term bullish. Look, there's nothing bear market about a monthly uptrend. There's nothing bear market about a weekly uptrend as well. And by the way, we don't even have lower lows on the weekly till we come back down below 32,000 bucks right here. And by that same, no, we do have lower. Is this just one massive complex high, or is this a high, a low, and a lower high? I'll let Pena answer that question. He is he's our resident PA expert. I would say that's just one complex high right here. And this is really your last local low, and this is really your last high before that. So overall, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to come down, then bounce back up, hope that it doesn't put in a lower high. And if it does, then pray to fucking bear Jesus that it doesn't put in a lower low as well. If that happens, yes, I would say this is a bear market. And I don't know about 3 years. 3 years, could that be relevant? I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that at the outset. I'd say it's very likely to play out a very, very long-term sideways, at the very best. But until Bitcoin puts in a weekly downtrend, I would not define this as a bear market. I do not define anything that has major moving averages like this as a bear market. Now, is it turning down and going to go lower? Very likely, yes. But as long as you see all lower periods above higher periods, I mean, I just look at this as kind of like a healthy pullback, but we're dealing with big numbers here. And when we're dealing with big numbers, I mean, Bitcoin just went 300% above its prior all-time high. Can it come back down, 50%? Well, yeah, I can. Very well can. Again, to kind of reiterate my thoughts, I think Bitcoin's doing something similar to what we saw over here in 2013. And this, how long does this take? April 2013 high to next momentous drive to the upside, October 2013. So what? April, May, June, July. I don't know my months. October, September. August, September, October. Something like that. I don't know, like a little bit less than a year, perhaps. Doesn't need to be exactly like that, but I do think something similar to that is what we're looking at right here. Symbol AM says, morning, sir. How you doing, man? I'm interested in Doggy USD on the same time frames. That surprised you with some positive signs yesterday. It's not good. It's not good. Now, the positive signs yesterday were not necessarily positive signs. What they were was a sign for pausing. The reason why I say that is because it was still kind of hanging around that last little prior lower high. Now we don't have that anymore. This continuation, we have quite literally high, low, lower high, testing around that last low. If it starts to take that area out, I look at that as a lower low. And to be honest with you, I already look at this. Actually, no, I don't already look at this on the weekly. It did not take out last week's low, but I do see several structural issues on the weekly here. Massive bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3 drives in progress. I'd be targeting long-term 20 to 20, low 20 cent region long-term. And very likely big bounces there. But that is long-term, to be fair. That is long-term. Yeah, and you did say 2-day and 3-day. 2-day is going to destroy that structure right there. 3-day, same thing. Same thing. Not as interesting now. There you go. Super Googly Lee says, can we please have a look at Link Ethereum, please, sir? Yeah, man. Again, I do have to remind everyone, I have to leave here in about 10 minutes now. So please keep that in mind. Let's see. Chainlink versus Ethereum right here. Short term up. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards about 0.014 region. But we do have some issues here on the 3-day. Getting well, I wouldn't say it's fresh death cross, but we did get a death cross over here, and it does look like it wants to play it. We do see 3-day TSI. Is it turning up? It's going to try to turn up above 0.014. See what the daily says. Daily, yeah, I'd be looking for a short-term bounce here. Daily TSI turning up. Daily RSI giving 1, 2, 3 drives of phantom div. Weekly, bearish. So long-term, I'd still remain downside angle, but short-term, yes, up. This one does have a pretty nasty consolidation right here. And I suppose long-term, I do have this already charted out at 0.86, 87 region. That is long-term, however. So short-term, bouncy bounce. Long-term, probably continuation. Depending upon what time frame you want to look at. Sweetwater says, I've been hoarding XRP for a while. How long's a while, man? There's some talk of XRP becoming a bridge currency between fast transaction speeds and low transaction fees. Do you have any thoughts on that? And are you holding? No, I do not hold any XRP. What are my thoughts on that? I mean, you've been hearing stuff about XRP and how it's going to do X, Y, and Z to solve all issues within the world for the past, as long as I can remember, going back to 2016. I would express serious concern and serious doubt with that, to be honest with you as well. The XRP executives and marketing team is very, 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 very successful. They are incredibly convincing, but Ripple as a company, to be fair, is probably going to be successful. I mean, they are a pretty damn good company, or at least they, at least they have some things going for them. XRP as a token, I do think that it has some long-term upside. To be fair, I mean, we did look at his chart earlier, but if you're asking me specifically about that, I have no idea about that. Only insiders are gonna have any idea about that. So if you are just getting that from someone on YouTube who doesn't necessarily work there, I'd express serious doubt with that. But again, I don't need to see something like that in order for me to respect that long-term chart. Problem is, can it come back down to $1? I mean, it could. Very, very well could if it takes out that last one and a quarter low. Let's see. Trigger Max says, if the entire market crashes, all markets, where do you think the best store of value would be in general? Where would the best store of value be in general? Well, you know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is? People are not going to like this, but you know what the funny thing is? Should I say it? This is going to piss a lot of people off. Look, I'm not saying that I'm buying this or that I'm buying into this, but where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? Seriously. God damn it, there it is. Gold. Gold's actually acting really, really well here during this. Very, very well. Gold seems to be a good store of value for right now. Put in a major low right here. You might even call this a macro low on the monthly. In fact, I would. Hidden bullish evidence off that. If things really start to crash, I suppose that one would be. One of my friends who was in a major quant firm in Chicago, he was like big into looking for, you know, what's the next big hedge. You know what he funnily said? He said the New Zealand dollar is what they came up with, and also fucking soybeans. Call it what you will. Call it what you will, but they were quite successful. Okay, Crypto Signals. Crypto Signals says, this is like a clear marketing. Ethereum 20K, Bitcoin 250K, end of year, kill all bears. Do you promise? $250,000 Bitcoin by end of year. I would have to. Do you promise? I'm putting it all in right now and spending it, baby. Crypto Signals for life. Look, man, that will get you a lot of likes and retweets on crypto Twitter, but the problem is crypto Twitter retweets and likes are worthless. That is a silly social game which does not give you any money. Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Huju Futu says, hey man, my pleasure, man. Alt perp 4 hour? Sure. Sure, yeah, let's check this one out. Alt derp right here on FTX. Let's see, toppy as fuck on the monthly. Weekly, toppy as fuck as well. I'd be looking for this one to trade down over the next few weeks towards 39.30-ish region, 39.35. But you said 4 hours specifically, so you know what, we'll do that. 4 hours bouncy here. 4 hours a little bit bouncy here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce alongside Bitcoin, maybe somewhere around like 53 to 55 region. Still don't like it. I mean, even short-term time frames are kind of weak here too, though. 4 hour TSI freshly turning down. 4 hour RSI. Could you say that's still playing out hidden bearish evidence? I mean, it's been a pretty massive move there. No, I think it bounced from here short term. If that's specifically what you're asking for, long term, I'd be looking for continuation, man. I'd be looking for continuation there. Let's see. Okay. The Joel Bear says, serious question. Okay. I'll try my best with a serious answer, man. People saying this is a super cycle, which I assume means a bigger, longer bull run than normal. Could that imply bigger, longer, and harder and uncut dips that are harder to take? Well, look, I don't actually know what the super cycle narrative is. I know that that's something that that guy Suzu is saying, but if you're talking about a super cycle, I would guess, and look, I could be wrong on this, so I'm going to assume a few things here, so understand that I'm making an assumption. My assumption is a super cycle implies that there's no major, like, weekly downtrend. There's no major pullbacks. Well, I think that narrative's already destroyed. So no, man. Do I think that there's a super cycle coming where Bitcoin just basically goes up and doesn't stop going up? I'd say it would be uncharacteristic within the history of this asset. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. Of course, past results are not indicative of future success. But hey, man, you know, I'm a trader. I'll let the fundamentalists and the long-term cycle traders or cycle analysts, if you will, comment on that. I'm not the person to ask for that. No, I'd say if you're basically using that as like a key to look for Bitcoin not to play out major pullbacks, I think that's well, look, man, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. Look, this is already 40% down. This is already 40% down. I'll put it that way. So I'd have to say maybe not. Thunderine says, Krown, your streams is awesome. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Can we look at CB for potential? What's CB? CB. Chubb Limited? Hey, that's a... Is that what you used to? I think Elsa might have worked out there at some point in time. I'd be looking for weekly back down to about 162.5. Monthly, I'm not sure. I have no opinion on. Daily down 162.5. Let's see. Nick says, can you have a look at LMN Ligma Nuts and my ASX, please? You bastard! I got trolled, man. I got trolled. There's no ASX and there's no Ligma Nuts. Motherfucker. They got me again. They got the tater. All right. Motherfucker. All right, let's see. J3F says Cream USD 1 hour and 4 hour daily SIRS. All right, CREAM USD. All right, guys, I just have like 5 more minutes here though. 5 more minutes here. 4 hour. I mean daily sideways. 4 hour. 4 hour down. I'd be looking for this one to come back down towards 117, 118 region. Hourly down. Probably does maybe an hourly bounce right around about 121 and a half. But 4 hour I think has a bit of a continuation drive there. Long term though, daily, I don't hate it on the long term actually. I mean, it's, you know, as long as it holds that $90 low, but that's a humongous move right there. So take it as you will, man. Take it as you will. Crypto Angel says, I'm jumping off the tiniest bridge I can find. When is the dip over? Well, my crystal ball says at least the short term dip is likely over. Yes. I do think that Bitcoin bounced from here, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. But long term, do I think that there's more continuation? Yeah, I do think so. Reasons given at the beginning of the stream. I do have to be a little bit faster here, just because I do have to go very, very soon now. Jordan Chen says, will one day close above 4080 signal a local low on the daily specifically? No. Hold on. Let me see. No, a daily local low is not happening anytime soon. Maybe above 42,500-ish region, you can start to look for local low confirmed tomorrow, but I would not say so today. Let's see. Kevin fucking one, KSM Ethereum, Kraken daily. We got to bounce. All right, let's see this one. This one's been acting pretty damn well too. Another one that probably deserves a bit of respect in comparison to the rest of things in this market. Look at it on, I guess, Kraken. I guess that's all that we can really look at it on. Daily, yeah, pretty nice bounce here thus far. I imagine this thing does probably have a little bit of a short-term downside move here, maybe back down to 116 and a half. Buterals that is, but daily, I like it. I really like this higher low, or I really like this. I'm gonna guess weekly higher low. Yep, I favor that. Probably the next couple weeks, or over the next week or so, I'd be looking for a move up to 0.2. That does not mean though it's going to go up versus US dollar. This is obviously versus Ethereum, but yeah, it's respectable, I suppose, versus Ethereum specifically. Not a really strong opinion though on it, to be honest with you. Let's see what the 12 hour says. 12 hours, okay. Poncho says, get Apex and become an FPF degen with me, bruh. Man, I've been all in on Mordhau recently, brother. You got to join me on that, and Chivalry 2 coming up. That is that is what is consuming my life in between trades recently. Apex is cool though. I do like Apex, but oh man, people just get so fucking good at those games that I can't keep up. We got a last one right here. All right. Andy G says, but Krown, any plans for an update for the jewel itself? Like a new version of it. I mean, we kind of like the way that it's working right now. We haven't really had a reason to. Mornfall's usually looking for things to do. But what he's actually I think going to do soonish is he's going to make like a more streamlined version of it. And probably make it. Well, I don't know yet. I probably shouldn't speak on that. But I think last I spoke with him, he's thinking of making a more streamlined version of it. The more that I look at this KSM ETH, I'd be looking towards about 0.2, maybe over the next week or so. Looks okay. Looks okay. Oh man, Dan and Go Lucky guys, I really need to go here. I'll just quickly as fuck do this. IMMP daily 4 hour, please. All right, let's see. Just really fucking quick here. 4 hour up. 4 hours breaking out. I'd be looking for a move. Probably back up to this gappy area, a little bit above $5. Let's see what the day looks like really quick. Yeah, daily's decent. Hey bro, I found salvation from baldness. It's called PRP treatment. Check it out. Fair enough, man. I'll keep that in mind. Let's see. WazD says you should stream Little Nightmares 2 short game. Maybe. We could definitely look at that. But right now, fellas, I really need to go. Again, if I'm wrapping up my thoughts on Bitcoin. Short term, a little bit of choppy chop, but I would give it a chance to bounce. Very, very short term. Actually, Bitcoin put in a lot of volume down here too, which is usually a good sign for a little bit of a short term bottom that was on Bitstamp, and actually Coinbase not doing the same thing just yet. But overall, I do think that $39,000 gives it a bit of a bounce. We're kind of seeing that right now. It's already bounced up a decent amount. Did get a test into the deeper $39,000, but. I'd really wait for the next local low confirmed. Long term, though, I do think that there is continuation in this. And I think I'll leave it there. I think I'll leave it there, fellas. I love you too, Delphine. I love you too. All right, fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone out there. I'll be back on tomorrow, but for right now, I massively need to run. So I salute you and see you hopefully soon.